Hi everybody, it's Mimi with another manifesting breadcrumb for you. This one talking about forgiveness, but also there's a few other nice little concepts wrapped up in here about kind of inner harmony and how that's, or disharmony and how that's reflected externally. I'm loving The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Scovel Shin. That's why I've got a few breadcrumbs from her. So that's what I'm sharing with you today. And forgiveness is one of those concepts that I feel is really heavily misunderstood. I know in my own life, the concept of forgiving someone who has done something bad, particularly right after it's happened, is just so not where my head was at. But I think it can also be one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself. Because the reality is, when you're upset with someone for whatever reason, they are not feeling your upset. They are moving on with their lives. They are wrapped up in their own journey, their own path. And so the only person who is feeling the pain of that unforgiveness is you. You're not, you're not punishing them in any way, because you're punishing yourself in effect. So unforgiveness is really about releasing the grip of the pain of that event. And as Florence talks about, it really is about setting yourself free to create the things that you want. Because as we know, if we're holding any disharmony within us, then that's only going to project out. So forgiveness is a big one. And whether it's forgiving the person that cut you off, or it's forgiving your parent that's done the wrong thing, or your partner, or your sibling, or whomever, if we think about a typical week and how many people we're harboring resentment at, goodness gracious, that's a lot of people, and that's a lot of negative energy, and that's a lot of possible miscreations that we're going to inflict on ourselves. So Florence says, false growths are caused by jealousy, hatred, unforgiveness, fear, etc. Every disease is caused by a mind not at ease. I said once in my class, there is no use asking anyone, what's the matter with you? We might just as well say, who's the matter with you? Unforgiveness is the most prolific cause of disease. Unforgiveness. It will harden arteries or the liver and affect the eyesight. In its train are endless ills. I called on a woman one day who said she was ill from having eaten a poisoned oyster. I replied, oh no, the oyster was harmless. You poisoned the oyster. What's the matter with you? She answered, oh, about 19 people. She'd quarreled with 19 people and had become so inharmonious that she attracted the wrong oyster. Any inharmony on the external indicates there is mental inharmony. Get that again. Any inharmony on the external indicates there is mental inharmony. As the within, so the without. Man's only enemies are within himself, and a man's foes shall be they of his own household. Personality is one of the last enemies to be overcome, as this planet is taking its initiation in love. Super powerful statement. Just a side note that Florence was around in sort of the 1920s, and we're now 100 years later, and that statement could not be more relevant, that personality is one of the last enemies to be overcome. It was Christ's message, peace on earth, goodwill towards man. Goodness me, how long ago was that message? And again, it's still relevant. The enlightened man, therefore, endeavors to perfect himself upon his neighbor. His work is within himself, to send out goodwill and blessings to every man. And the marvelous thing is that if one blesses a man, he has no power to harm him. For example, a man came to me asking to treat for success in business. So Florence would sometimes be asked from people that in her classes to be helped in what they were trying to create. He was selling machinery, and rival appeared on the scene with what he proclaimed was a better machine, and my friend feared defeat. I said, first of all, We must wipe out all fear and know that God protects your interest and that the divine idea must come out of the situation. Now, just a side note about Florence regularly mentions God. I'm not a religious person, but what she means here is the God within, our inner being, our divine human imagination, our divine power. That is, the right machine will be sold by the right man to the right man. And I added, don't hold one critical thought towards the man. Bless him all day and be willing not to sell your machine if it isn't the divine idea. So he went to the meeting, fearless and non-resistant, and blessed the other man. He said the outcome was remarkable. The other man's machine refused to work, and he sold his without the slightest difficulty. But I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which spitefully use you and persecute you. Goodwill produces a great aura of protection about the one who sends it, and no weapon that is formed against him shall prosper. In other words, love and goodwill destroy the enemies with oneself. Therefore, one has no enemies on the external. There is peace on earth for him who sends goodwill to man. So by forgiving people that have hurt you in the past, and by sending out goodwill to people that may be inflicting negativity on you in the present, and forgiving them, you actually create an aura of protection around yourself. So you're doing goodwill for yourself. So in the beginning, if you need to forgive people just so that you can create that aura of protection, do it. But in doing so, you will set yourself free from the pain of holding on to hurt. And as I said, you will create this aura of protection. It's such a powerful feeling to be unaffected by other people's negative behavior. It is so, so powerful. So I hope you can go out and try that. Try it for a day, try it for an hour. Just give yourself the gift of being completely unaffected by other people's behavior and being able to be happy anyway. It is so powerful. And the carry-on effect of what it creates off the back of it is just, it's nothing short of miraculous. So I hope that little breadcrumb helps you today, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.